We are in Shaar Aleph, Parag Gimel. I just want to explain it a little bit deeper, just to understand so much of the Nefesh Hachaim that's coming up. But let me just back to where we were. That we spoke about the fact that a person is created b'tselem Elokim, daika, ishudafka of Elokim. And Elokim, besides for being the Kollel Bais HaTalmud, he's the Bala Koiches Kulei, Elokim. And we explained something very deep that the Goin points out, and that is that from the Zohar, that the name Elokim is not just the name that Hashem used to create the world. Breishis bara Elokim as Hashemayim v'sa'aretz. It's not just happen to pick out. Let's pull out the Elokim out of the heavenly closet, but the Elokim or Elokus, if you will, is actually the spiritual aspect of everything in the Bria. Everything is Elokim, and everything that has power, everything that is mikamocha ba'elim Hashem, right? Elohim macherim. Avodah Zarah, everything that has any kind of koach has this name Elokim, or if it's Chol Elohim, but it could be both, because it goes from the top place to the bottom place. Anything that has koach in the Bria is Elohim, 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 Elohim. You have a Sanhedrin or a Beis Din which is called Elokim, Elohim, and then you start getting Kodesh from there up, Elohim. And hence the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Olam. So it's not just that Hashem pulled out the Shem Elokim, which is mighty, to create the world, that He created the world with strength, but He created the world with strength. In other words, this Elokim is the raw material or the spiritual material of the Bria Gufa. It's Elokim. There's Elokim in them there hills, right? There's Elokim there. Not to be confused with that's God and we should worship it. That's how people got to Elohim Acher. They saw such koach. They said, okay, there's God in those mountains. There's God in that particular creation. I'm saying to worship it. The koach is the koach Hashem, but the juice, if you will, of the Bria is called Elokim. That's an important thing that Reb Chaim Volozhin brings, and the Zohar speaks that out. And we're created, people, Selem Elokim. So we have that Selem, that image of strength, that image of Elokim, of the strength of Elokim. So what is that? What is that? And here we learn about what it means to be a person and not a tree or a tomato. A tomato doesn't, tomato's a tomato. It's an end product. Tomato can create other tomatoes, but not beratzon and not with bechira chavshus. An animal can do puravu also. In fact, the bracha of puravu was originally said to fish, not to people. It's true, people have to do the mitzvah of procreating, but the puravu is bracha l'dagim, pray or vey. There should be a lot of fish. Important, there should be a lot of fish, there should be a lot of people. But here we're saying there's something different. Selem Elokim, says Reb Chaim Volozhin, means that not just puravu, but we have a certain koach, and that is the koach of the Bria. Let's just read this paragraph again. Baruch Hu Yisbarach Adam. Hashem created man. V'hishlitoi, and the mashal that I used last time we learned, as the shlitoi, he made him CEO. Sholet, hu ha-shalit. He shlitoi al-ribei rivain koichos ve'lamais ein mispar u'masarim biyadai. So it's not like Hashem created trees, Hashem created animals, Hashem created people. A person is created, and he was created with a job portfolio of being the executive director of the entire Bria and more. And not only the executive director of everything that goes on in this world, and for that you need free choice, but even in higher worlds, even higher worlds. It's amazing to be the director of worlds that we don't even understand. Like, this is not common. This is not uncommon for directors of companies that they're in charge of things they don't understand. But we see such a thing. But like we're in charge of, in other words, we have a koach of bria in everything in the world. A koach of bria. Just to meditate on that. Masar biyadai sheyehu yehu hamidaber v'hamanhig oisam. He's the medaber. And he's the manhig oisam. So it's not, in other words, again, I just want to make it perfectly clear. It's not that Hashem created a bria, and part of the bria, maybe even the most chashuv thing in the bria, was he created man. He created a bria that created man at the end to be in charge of the bria. It's a different idea, and meaning, to put it even more radical, in other words, take over. Take over. I created the world. Now you're here to take over. Now, I'm not going away. Hashem says, it's not that I'm going away. I'm still in charge. But I'm giving you a koach to build. I'm giving you a koach to destroy. I'm giving you a koach to give birth. I'm giving you a koach to kill. Amazing. There's a koach. The ikar koach. The truth is, animals can do all that also. Birds build nests and animals kill each other. That's not yet the pshat. That's nature. But the koach that you find in Adam that you don't find anywhere else, says Reb Chaim Volozhin, shehu hamidaber v'hamanhig oisam. It needs this diuk here.
The shlita obviously, Adam didn't have the ability to change the raw material that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put in the world, but he had the ability to control them.
You could split an atom. We can split an atom. Can't create an atom. We could split an atom. In other words, there's tremendous amount of control, but the ikar of it is. I remember in science learning, it's like interesting. Like if you keep on taking an egg and you beat the egg, you put it in your blender. The blender's not good enough. You put it in your ninja machine. That's not good enough. Like you really. So at some point, why aren't we splitting the atom? Why don't we get a nuclear? Right? I mean, like you're splitting as well. How much can you split something? Right? Anybody know the answer to that?
No, you're not having enough heat to get over the activation energy.
I mean, theoretically. Okay, I'll start making my eggs again. I was seriously worried about blowing up Beit Shemesh here.
The force is that we don't have the power with a blender to overcome. It takes something like a cyclotron.
Just not strong enough.
You're
saying a different terrace. You're saying a different terrace of motion.
So we don't. What we have in the
But
kitchen is
the pella of it is the man does have the koch. He just don't have it with the blender. In other words, so it's the machshava of a person that said, whether it's Einstein or Newton, whoever it was, but the Einsteinian physics said that, okay, like if we could do this with a blender, what would be in theory or mathematically if we could do this p elef or times a million? Like where does the koach ha'adam stop exactly? So now, okay, it's technical. We need the right blender. You need the right blender to do it. So go to the Iranians; they figured it out. But it's just a theoretical question. Once you understood the koach ha'adam, the ikar koach ha'adam, and really this is the point that I want to make here, is what he says is the medaber. Now this is a grace appellate, because we all know that we've sort of discussed this many times, that what distinguishes an Adam from every other Bria is the ability to talk. But what we didn't say is that ability to speak, or probably more importantly to articulate, is mamish tetzelem alikim. Or to put it differently, it's mamish the neshama. Like Hashem could have created the world any way he wanted to, but he chose to create a b'dibur. Ba'asar ma'amaros nivra ha'olam. Vayomer, 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 vayomer. Right? Yehi or vayomer Hashem Yehi or Vayehi or. It seems totally extraneous. So, who was he talking to? He was talking to the or. So the Gemara says something like that. He was talking Kollel Shemesh, but that was not until the third day. Hashem chose. Let's put it that way. I don't know what he needs. He chose Amira as his kli bria. Everyone makabel that? Why? Who could know why? But he chose Amira. He didn't choose his Maisa. He didn't blow at it. He could have blown at it like he blew at us. He could have done somebody. They could have snapped his fingers. Yehior. Somebody different. Like if we were creating the world, Amira seems almost the least likely thing to attribute to Hashem, but B, like when there's nothing created yet. So what are you talking? What's the point of talking? But apparently and I think I could explain why a little bit. Apparently Amira was the derech of creation, because Amira, if we learned this, if you remember years ago, we learned together, some of us, Reb Tzaddik. So Reb Tzaddik in the Kedusha Shabbos, he speaks about the Brias Ha'olam. So he speaks about this, and he says that the pshat is that the way the Bria worked is you had like Tohu Vavohu, as we learned, and then it gets broken up and broken up and broken up and broken up into its finished details. Vayavdil, 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 right? Everything is Vayavdil. Broken up, broken up, broken up. The ultimate breakup of the from here to here is Amira, is Dibur. Not even Dibur, but Amira. Amira, if sometimes, just give a mashal, like sometimes we can have a thought. It's a good thought. You're thinking something. We're thinking individuals, we think. And then when you come to explain it or say it to somebody or even say it to yourself, it's not as refined as you thought it was. Because machshava is still like a glob. And there's a lot of things flying around in our head at the same time. Very difficult, even if you're like a real concentrator, it's very difficult to have such focused thought. But the Amira articulates it in a way which is the final product, if you will, right before you get to Maisa. So look at it this way: Machshava, Dibur, Maisa, levels of refinement. Follow me with this little bit of math because it's important. Machshava, okay, I have a thought. Let's take it at our level. I have a thought. Dibur, I speak it out. If I speak it out, it's much more refined, much more clear. People have business ideas. Write a business plan. Talk it over with somebody. Don't just have a machshava. You have a machshava, you're going to bang it to a wall. You have to take the machshava and bring it to a place of gashmius. That's what Dibur does. And then even more so is when you actually do the Maisa. And everything is based on machshava, Dibur, Maisa. So you find that the Gemara explains the Brias Ha'olam by Hashem, Mamash by Hashem. Allah b'machshava, right? Hashem had certain machshavas. Livrayas Ha'olam b'midas hadin, for instance. It says a few places. Allah b'machshava. Hashem had a machshava to create that the world should be all midas hadin. Ra she'ein ha'olam b'skaya. We started to speak it out and saw kivyochel that it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Can't have the whole world midas hadin. It's going to go back to tohu vavohu in no time at all. So shitei v'boy midas harach. The Allah b'machshava is a step before the Amira. So the Amira refers to the articulation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's articulating the idea, and then it comes to Sheishis Yemei HaMaaseh.
You said something very deep. You were talking about Amira, but then you also said with a business plan you write it down. And I think there's another level there. There's another
which
that
level?
makes it more permanent when you write it down.
I
So we have the
disagree.
Torah.
I disagree, because, yes, but Torah Shabbat is even deeper, you know? So the thing is like this, like, you know, we in Halacha, in Gemara, it says that Hirur Lav Kedibur Davar. So just you think something through, that's not yet Dibur. Hirur Lav Kedibur Davar. Davar Davar. There's a machlokes in the poskim, the later poskim, whether ksiva is kedibur. Some say yes, some say not. Meaning, according to the Rav Shulchan Aruch, you have to speak Torah. It's not good enough to think Torah. If you're just thinking Torah, according to the Rav Shulchan Aruch, you're allowed to think about it in the bathroom. You can't make a bracha. According to the Goyen, he says you can. It already makes a bracha. It's not the ideal, but you can make a bracha out of it. That's why there's a difference. If you look in the Chabad Siddur, like Tilas Hashem, it says the bracha of Birchas HaTorah is lasek b'divrei Torah, and right, or al divrei Torah maybe even says. But if you look in a regular Nusach Ashkenaz, it's lasek b'divrei Torah. So the lasek itself is the avodah. But whether writing is kedibur or is not kedibur, I don't think the jury's out on that one yet. Like, is writing, on the one hand, you're making it mamish gashmias. On the other hand, he's still not speaking it out. There's something like the Reb Chaim Volozhin says, not in Nefesh Hachaim, in a different place. He says that he views the tongue, the tongue to our thoughts the same way that when a shoichet checks his chalaf, checks the knife, so you run your nail across it, because your nail's very sensitive to your nail, because that way it won't hurt you. You don't want to run the front part of your finger, but the nail you can run and you'll feel any little nick. And he says that's what his tongue does to his machshava. He feels the nicks of the ksiva. Maybe you're right, but it's
So when Moshe wrote down what Hashem said, was he
Moshe
speaking?
Omar.
Yeah.
Hashem Omar or Moshe Omar v'kasa. Hashem Omar or Moshe Omar v'kasa. Do you know, by the way, in Hebrew, just in the shurish of the words, in the etymology of the words, so what's the difference between dibur and amira? Why? So Amira is very articulated. Amira is very sharp, like the Amir of a mountain, and the Yeshayahu means the very, very deep summit, even in Arabic. Amira is very, very sharp, very, very pointed. It's like the final. We talk about that chalaf. Final articulation. Davar, dibur is lashon davar, a thing. Very general. Right? Daber on Yisrael v'yamarta aleihem. First speak to them lashon raka, then v'yamarta, then give them the details. Amira is always the details. That's why a davar is just a thing without a name. Or dever is a pestilence, because you can't see the individual mosquitoes or whatever it is. It's a dever. You just see this swarm of things. We're not talking about the person who can see each one of the things that's in the dever. But Aseres Hadibrais is the correct, the deep translation is the 10 generalities.
So you could do deeper lakum? Is that your lakum?
Very good. A lot of Mimaramis, right? Amira lakum, that's very good.
We're actually not the opposite, by Kosovo the Bais Yaakov.
Right. Kosovo the Bais Yaakov Ve.
The bear again.
So there, Rashi, all right, but it's a whole diuk in Rashi. It's Raka. He's not talking about detail, not detail, but I'm just, it's so anyways, the Asar Mamoros Nivra Olam. Asar Mamoros Nivra Olam is the world was created with not just Dibur, but with Amira. It's in the lashon of the sefer Hayetzira, sefer Yetzira, Kabbalah sefer, which describes the Bria. Sefer HaYetzirah, or the Yetzirah. And the first sentence there is, Kol ha'olam kulei malei oisiyos. Kol brias ha'olam hu oisiyos. That's how he starts off the book. Everything is oisiyos. Oisiyos is Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. It's the Tchilas Habriya is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, those are the Shemas. Kol oisiyos shebesefer Torah shebais shel Hashem. That's the lashon of the Chazal. The oisiyos are the ultimate, or let's say not the ultimate, the beginning of the actual articulation of the Machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Machshava, Dibur, Baisa. So it starts off with Dibur, Aleph, Ba, 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 Ba. It doesn't mean anything. It's just Dibur. And then it starts coming into real words. Yehi, or. By Yoiber Elikim. Yehi, or. That's already an Amira. And then you have the Baisa. So you have Machshava, Dibur, Baisa. Right? Clear? Let me tell you another Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Let's do that again. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Achshava, Dibur, Maisa. So all of those are different parts of the Neshama. Also the Nefesh is part of the Neshama. But it's the lowest part of the neshama, the most gashmiest part of the neshama. Hadam hu nefesh, right? Ushmartem es nafshei seichem, nefesh. The nefesh is, but the higher part is the ruach, and ruach means dibur, and the higher part is the neshama. Neshama is in the place of machshava. So in the neshama itself, you have three parts. You have neshama, Ruach, Naran, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, starting from us, starting from here. It's not the goof, right? But the vascular system being alive is Nefesh. Hadam hu Nefesh. The ability to speak, that's already a higher level. Because every animal has a Nefesh, Nefesh HaBehema. Right? Has that part of the neshama l'chol ha'pachos, like that their blood is circulating and it's alive and it's animated. Animated animals are animated. So that's the nefesh. The ruach miyuchad la'adam. Neshama also miyuchad. It's interesting that when Hashem created, so kach Allah b'machshava. I'm going back and forth between man and God because that's the subject of the Nefesh Hachaim. That the Hashem thought, then he spoke, and then he did. And that's why the world was created with Amira. Asara Mamoris Nivra. Same thing with a person. Person has Machshava, Hirur Lav Kedibor Dami. We're sorry, but Hirur, just that you thought it, Lav Kedibor Dami. You have to actually say Kriya Shema. You actually have to say Torah. Dibor. And Dibor is not Lamaisa. What are the chidushim or the well-known things that the Lubavitcher Rebbe all the Shalom used to say is that we have a lot of machshava and a lot of Dibor. We don't have too much Maisa. Like you have to do a lot of you have to do more Maisa. So he was like a big on the Maisa story. The Lubavitchers they cut out all the Yitzros and all the almost all the slichos they don't say and all the so somebody once said to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, like you don't say anything. He says, yeah, but we do a lot. So so now you can say, well, you have deeper without machshava. It's also not so good. But there's different specialists. So there is like a Maisa specialist, and then there's a deeper specialist. And there's machshava specialists. It's a different, so here's what I want to be mechadish say. Everything I'm saying is clear and fundamental to the way things work. Just remember, HaKadosh Baruch Hu machshava dibur l'baisa, person is machshava dibur baisa. The neshama is neshama, ruach, nefesh, all the same trifecta. The special thing about Adam is, as the Torah says, we open it up here, the most famous pasuk in the Torah, Vayitzer Hashem Elokim es ha'adam. Great moment. Vayitzer Hashem Elokim es ha'adam. Afar min ha'adam. So it was an upward motion. Started off as dirt, moving up. Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim. So the Gemara touches this pasuk and says, Adam chelik min ha'adam v'chelik min ha'shamayim. It starts off coming from dust. Go back there. That part of us goes back there. That part. And then animated from above. Right? So what's missing here? Gentlemen?
Deeper.
Or ruach. Right? Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim. Right? Afar min ha'adama. End of the pasuk. Vayihi ha'adam lenefesh chaya. And a person suddenly became a nefesh chaya. And the Targum so famously says, let's read the whole thing. Ubra Hashem Elokim yas adam afra min admasa, afra min adama, unefach ba'apohui nishmasa dechaya, v'havis be'adam leruach mimalala. Ruach. Where do you get the word ruach here? How can we put in the word ruach, the Targum? Right? There's Tana. So everyone's medayik in mamalala. But nefesh chaya means the man can speak. The man can speak comes from ruach. That's ruach. So the gashmius of a person comes from the adama. The neshama comes from the shamayim, from the blowing of Hashem. And then what ends up here is nefesh chaya. This homogenation of heaven and earth ends up, says the Targum explaining the pasuk, l'nefesh chaya, to nefesh chaya is ruach mimalala.
It's a product of the two.
Being able to speak.
It's a product of the two.
What happens? Exactly right. In other words, it's a gestalt of the two. Like you have this and you have that, and boom, we're talking. It's like amazing. We could have just been left with a neshama, so we would have a neshama. That would be cool. But or we could have just been like an animal. You know, everything comes from the Adama. The Zohar says that everything comes from the Adama. Not just people. Every animal came from the Adama. Every plant obviously came from the Adama. Even, it says according to the Zohar, even the sun came from the Adama. Wrap your mind around that one. Maybe like Big Bang. But everything comes from the Adama. But the thing is, that comes from the Adama, so the Maral made a Goylem, let's say, if he did. But that Goylem couldn't talk. So, and even if Hashem would give it a neshama, still can't talk. It's only where the two things are homogenized and they come together, Chelek bin ha'aretz, v'chelek bin ha'shamayim, you get dibur. Why was this important? I'll tell you something about dibur before we talk about why it was important. Something about dibur is interesting because dibur is not by accident. That the koach hadibur comes from the neck, the throat. We talked about this, that the neck of a person is that which is mechaber the top to the bottom. It doesn't have any purpose unto itself except for dibur. Whenever the food comes in here, it goes down there. Right? It's just fascinating, the biology of it, because like the digestive system, which is half of a fellow, the digestive system, starts in your mouth. It doesn't start in here. The digestive system starts with your teeth, with your saliva. That's where the digestive system. Nobody's eating here, so I don't mind. It's basically the thing we love to do most is like the most disgusting of every subject. It's like amazing, but it starts. This is where, in fact, there's more digestion going on in your mouth that's going on in your stomach. That's a scientific fact. That's where, like the ikr, if you don't chew your food, This most people won't learn too late in life, and they're already sick, and they have ulcers, and they have all kinds of things. Because and doctors will tell you didn't chew your food. Okay, I didn't chew my food. And then why do I say until you're too old? You don't have any teeth. So like how are you supposed to chew your food? So babies can't digest that well, so they nurse or they eat baby food. They can't. They're missing this piece of the digestive maze. But this is the first part of the digestive system, and then like your stomach, the J-shaped sac within us. Is like a big cement grinder, and that takes a cement mixer, I should say, and that takes all the different pieces and all the different things and digests it. I just want to talk about this for one more second because you'll see the bria why this is important. And then what happens? It goes into that's my biology 101 here, but you know all the better than me. But all the food goes from the stomach where it's all mixed like a big cement mixer into the small intestine, which is, if you wrap it out, the size of a tennis court, right? It's a big thing, small intestine. And there, pilla, after it's all ground up, it soaks into the blood, and the blood goes through all the different organs of the body. And every organ takes from it exactly what it needs. Like Hafluvafel, just like a pillow, what's going on over here. The kidneys will take what it needs, and the heart will take what it needs, and the brain takes what it needs, and everything takes what it needs. It knows how to pick out, unless you're sick. Sick means that this is not working. That's what sick means. But if you're a healthy person, Bezos Hashem, this is what happens. Nothing happens in the throat. It's literally not part of the digestive system. It's strictly a way. There's a digestive system here. There's a digestive system here. Everywhere is a digestive. Even your diaphragm is part of the digestive system, according to the biologist. But your throat has nothing to do with the digestive system. It's just a pipe.
Conduit.
But that conduit is where Dibur comes from.
It's not. I mean, it's a critical muscle.
It gets the food down. The muscles of the esophagus is not part of the digestive structure. It's all it does is it's a miracle that there's muscles that start here and they go all the way through your small intestine, your big intestine to the small intestine, and they're muscles pushing everything along like a pellet thing. But nothing is being crunched up. Nothing is being done here, not done here. This kind of like useless thing called the throat or the neck. It's like gardening what goes into where, right? That's the other thing. But that's where the dibur comes from. It doesn't come from your stomach unless you're like Kuzovitsky or something. doesn't you don't sing from your stomach. You don't talk from your stomach. There's such a thing as a baich svara, right? Like a stomach svara. I'm not sure what the omek of it is at a baich svara, but it's a speech. Dibur doesn't come from here. This is my stomach. And it doesn't come from here, which is mice. It comes from your throat. That's where Dibur comes from this savor, from the connector. Why? Here's the Omek HaDavar. The Omek HaDavar is because there's Afer Min Ha'adama, and the part that we consider even repulsive to think about, even though it's the most beautiful thing in nature that's happening in our body, which is why I described it. It's Adama. It's Adama. Creates a waste system. We don't want to think about it. Think about waste system, like, but you have to think about it when you say Asher Yotzer. This is the kavana of Asher Yotzer, what I just described. But it starts there. It goes here. Starts there. What's happening over here? This is where the two come together. The connector, and it's only where the connector of Shemayim va'aretz come that it's possible to have Dibur. You follow me on this? In other words, Dibur comes from the connecting part. The Beis HaMikdash is called in Shir HaShirim the Tzavoroi Shel Yisrael. That which connects Klal Yisrael to Avinu Shabashamayim. That's the Beis HaMikdash was the neck, a connecting system, a conduit. And that's why it was such a big deal. I explained here why Yaakov cried on the neck of Yosef cried on the necks of Binyamin, by his Rishoin, by his Sheni. Yaakov cried on the neck of Yosef. The neck, it's all about and Rashi says, Al Makom, Rashi says, Bochal by his Rishon, Bochal by his Rishon, and by his Sheni. It's all necks, the necks are. It's not just the pasuk in Shir HaShirim. That's the connecting place. That connecting place is the Koach HaDibur. Now we understand what Dibur is. Bachshava, Dibur, Okay, here's Lamaisa. Here's how it's going to affect my body, right? Here's where the vitamins are happening. Here's where the nutrients are taking place. What you eat is what you are, right? You can heal yourself with your food. But here's where the Koach HaDibur is. So what's Machshava, Dibur, Maisa? Neshama, Ruach, Nefesh. Why does a person have this Dibur? Kangaroos have throats. Why does a person have a Koach HaDibur? Because, and this is the key thing, because Ba'asarim, my Marais Nivras Ha'elam, Hashem created the world with Dibur. Now you're taking over, Rabbi Say. You need to talk. Because the Iker Bria that we can do is with Dibur. If we understand this, like I think it opens up everything. The reason that a person can talk is because it's not just you need to know how to express yourself, but you need to be able to talk, because talking is Bria, and Bria is talking. And when you're Borei, when you're talking, you're being Borei Olamai, says Reb Chaim Volozhin. Hein l'toiv, hein l'ra. Either he's doing it or he's destroying it, but it doesn't make any difference. It's all with Dibur. Hashem also, before he created the world, the Zohar says, whatever it means, that he was Borei v'Hores v'Borei v'Roa Hores thousands of times until he got to where we are now. So maybe that was with Dibur also. We're not privy to that information. But Bria is Dibur, because that's how you take Machshava and you bring it out b'Poel.
That's why Lashon Hara is so terrible.
That's why Lashon Hara is so terrible. You know what's so interesting? I think this is true. That you could do something wrong. Let's say you do something wrong to your parents. You violate Kibbut Avein. You do something wrong. Nowhere near as good or as bad, depending on what you do, as saying something. Is this true? Like Dibur, I think Shlomo Melech said, Lashon HaPosuk, even soft words can break bones. The koach of Dibur is so powerful because Ruach Memalad is mamish the koach of Hashem. It's mamish the koach of the neshama coming out. Whereas the Lamaisa may or may not be. If it went through the system, started off with Machshava, and it went to Dibur, and then it went to Maisa, okay, and the Maisa can have Kedusha. If it starts with Maisa, so Kama Yosevika B'Shuka, there's no Groisa Yichus to it. But Dibur has a tremendous ability to sustain itself, both in good and in bad. A good word, Mila B'Train. Right? Mila B'Train, a good word, yeah.
It seems like animals have machshava. Does machshava only include bechira? Because they don't have the neshama yet.
A bit of machshava. It's a bit of machshava, but it's not the same machshava. Their machshava, the survival machshava, can never come to Dibur. It's just enough machshava to survive, so it goes straight to the Maisa. But that's the Nakuda. Some neshama, the Mekubalim say there's some neshama even in the domain, but it's enough to survive. The Adam has enough machshava not to survive, but to create. And it's not meaning pruravu, because animals can do pruravu. Fish can do pruravu. But it's enough machshava that can actually articulate into the ultimate oisiyos. That's Dibur. And so here's the final line. Final line is the why does a person have the koach HaDibur? Because a person like Hashem is a creator. That's why. And that's why probably the biggest mitzvahs or the most creative things and wonderful things you can do is with Dibur, Tefillah, Torah. Hashem created with Maimaros. He went on to create further with Aseres HaDibros. Torah Shebal Peh is higher than Torah Shebechsav in the sense that it's even more spoken out, right? We have this koach of, but we're not just creating Torah, the tefillahs may be affecting all the worlds in Shemayim, but also affecting here. But every word you say is a koach HaDibur. So what we're learning here in Perek Gimel is that the Tselem Elokim articulates itself in the fact that we can talk. And that's what puts us aside. It's not just, oh, we have this cool koch. It's the fact that we can talk means that we are creators like Hashem's a creator, because you're CEO. And it goes together with free choice. It goes together with free choice. We're not just a tape. We choose what we talk. Because why? Because machshava, dibur, until it comes lamaisa. And that's where, just to finish the last line, hu ha-medaber v'ha-manigoisam. Adam is the medaber, umanigoisam. You become now the medaber. Take over. Shabar Elokim Lasais.